You all need kings? Then maybe you should go to England or something, or queen, they have a queen there. So we want to change this dynamic. We know the system of governance has failed because it doesn't matter what party you put into that system. It is the same khaki pants. Same thing. Just a different color. And we're not talking race, we're talking about the color and the t-shirts and things, right? We don't have to talk about race, that's a different thing. We need to love each other. And it's not just in Trinidad and Tobago. All over the world, countries have a deficit in the system of governance. A total deficit, right? Because when you elect these people as kings and they can do what they want, they can destroy your country within 5 years when you have no say and no participation in doing anything. No system for participation. So we need innovation. We need to change it a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot. Everybody knows this saying. It is madness to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. You put this party in, 5 years, you put them out, you put a new party here, you put them out, you put... That's kind of crazy. And it's the same khaki pants. You're not getting anything. This country should have been magnificent. I just saw a picture the other day of Salvatore building and the roundabout that the other roundabout that was there. I don't know what happened to it, but we couldn't maintain it, so we had to build a kind of other one when it mashed up, right? But it's so beautiful. The streets were clean. That is when we were developed. The place was clean and it was safe. If you can't find it, look on Facebook and have a look at that picture. I have it on my right. So, the solution lies not in changing the government or the party, but in fixing the system of governance. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not coming with you as a new party. I'm not selling you a new party at all. Far from it. We cannot continue to use the same archaic system that we have used for hundreds of years. When everything else is being modernized, everything else. We need real-time management, assessments, purchases, everything that has to be done. We need it to be efficient. Why couldn't governance be efficient like Google and Amazon? And there's absolutely no reason that it shouldn't be. I was reading, I think 2 days ago, I forget what country it was. They said everything that you needed from the government could be done and accessed online except 3 things. I forget what it was too. I think you had to do your driving test and you had to go into your part. But everything else could be done, and they saved 850,000 man hours per year by having this, virtual and e-tech stuff. Right. I don't know too much about those things. That is not my forte. Right? My forte is I'm a natural practitioner and I have this thing on my back that I need to tell people about, right? Because it's over 30 years that I have this thing to deliver. And I hope I'm going to get it to you, and I hope you share it to everybody you have. And people you don't have, share it to them too, right? Because we need to change this. We need to fix it. Because what is the alternative to that? If we don't fix it now, are you prepared to live another 5, 10, 15, 20 years in the same situation? Or are you prepared to change it now? We have to change, and the time is now. If nothing else, COVID has to teach us two things. And that is one, the sick care system, controlled by big pharma, and then controlled by governments. And if you're a sick care system, peddling drugs that never heal you, that has to crash. Right? That information, we got to get it, and it's going to crash. And the other thing is that the governance system have to crash too. It ain't working. We need something working, right? It has to work because it's there for us. It's going to make our life better. And we have to go from purgatory, because that's what I think Trinidad is in, a state of purgatory, where we're all here to suffer, to a state of utopia, because we can't achieve it. So, we all have to realize, and we need a plan. Right now, I don't know, they had a 2020 vision. I think there's a 2030 vision. But if you ask most people, what was the 2020 vision about, and what is the 2030 vision about? No, anybody I ask, nobody could tell me what it's about, right? And I am saying we need a plan. We need a plan that everybody, our citizens, understands and agrees to, that they buy into it. So that when we say, yes, we want to go in this direction, this is what we want to do as a country. This is our plan for our country in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 50 years. That we all realize that plan, and we all buy in, and we all work together in harmony towards that vision. That's how we have to do it. You don't make a plan and don't tell your employees if you're a business. No. You bring the teams together. You say, this is the plan. You get them involved in making the plans. You have participation, even better. And that's why the plan, part of a plan that I am presenting, is open to that. It's open to being filled with the good ideas of the citizens, right? By consensus and with everybody voting on these ideas and solutions that other members of the community have. Because many, many ideas reside in the heads of normal, everyday people. All the ideas that we have to follow are not in the elected few. They're not there. They're not kings to rule over us. We have to understand that. Wake up. We have a lovely motto. Together we aspire, together we achieve. Why are we not using that? Why is Trinidad and Tobago working in every man to himself? Every man to himself. I think everybody get out of their house in the morning, leave the house, and think, okay, I have to go and make $1. Who are going to rip off today? Eh? And then when you're finished, you're gone in your house and lock yourself up behind bars. It shouldn't be like that. There's plenty to go around. Right? There's plenty of love to go around. We need to start shaking hands again and hugging people and seeing their faces and seeing their smiles. What we're doing here is stupidness. I saw a t-shirt the other day. I'm going to print one. It's called Sheep Illusion. Sheep Illusion. We are creating sheep. Just follow us. It's time we stand up. If you believe in something, stand up. I don't have much time here again. I don't know if I have a day left on this planet. I don't know if I have 40 years. I'll try my best to keep myself good, but I don't know. I'm not in control. There's something else in control, and we need to start obeying that, right? And work with those laws, and those are God's laws, not man's laws. Man makes stupid laws, right? I'm not obeying no man's laws that are stupid over my God's laws. God's laws first. Anyway, back to what I'm supposed to be talking about here. Well, all that is supposed to talk about, right? I saw this guy. His name is Buckminster Fuller. He said you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. I like that. And kind of almost what we're doing, but I suppose there's parts of the old model that we'll use. So this is called the Manifesto of the Alternative System. I have a document written. You can access it, or you can just listen to this. I think you can get it. I'm not using any big terms. I'm not trying to bamboozle anybody to think I'm highly educated or anything like that. Far from it. I want everybody to understand it. It's simple. All the lay people. I wish we opened back the rum shops so people could go in there and discuss this together with themselves, because that's where a lot of discussion takes place, right? We need to mingle. We need to get together. We need to unite and get strong, not be weak. Sheep follow the donkey. Right. So later I'll show economic strategies, the cultural stuff, some nice things, but in this one I want to just stress the point of the system of governance. I'm just going to give you my vision. This is my vision. I was helping a political party the other day to make a vision, and then, well, not the other day, a few years ago, and this is my vision. They didn't use it. Fine. It's my vision. And my vision is to see our citizens empowered and fulfilling their dreams and goals in harmony with the opportunity to participate in the governance of their country at some level, while seeking the best for each other and for the environment, where arrogance and corruption have no place within our society, and where all law-abiding citizens are free to follow their pursuits. That is my vision. We cannot have arrogance in here. There's arrogance in our parliament with this divisive system of governance. And that has to go, because that shows our children how to behave. That's the leadership behaving like that. So no wonder you have arrogance in schools and in the streets and in our communities. Mission. My mission is to work with any and all to provide the changes necessary within the structures of governance to accomplish good governance, providing hope and opportunity to all citizens to fulfill their dreams and goals. So you got my mission and you got my vision. So, upgrading democracy. I looked up democracy on the dictionary terms, and it says, power to the people. Is that what we have? Can you say that is what we have? Power to the people? I don't think so. It doesn't seem like it. The people as a body. The people as a body. But the people don't have no body. Because I see the lockdown, what? Doubles people? I saw a list of doubles people on the internet. Because I was sure it was about 3,000. I found almost 2,000 on a list. And they could have more who not on that list. Right? If those 3,000 double people had come and stand up for their rights to remain open, you don't think somebody would have listened? 3,000 people is like a big size carnival band in the road, you know. Right? I'm not telling you to get on and burn down the place. I'm not even telling you to come out. Right? And what I'm actually saying is that something is wrong when in 2020, the only way for people to voice their concerns to the authorities, to say what issues are or solutions are, and the problems they have in their community is to come out and protest and burn tires, as we do in Trinidad. Yeah? That is the only way. We have no system in place. We have the technology in the world long time now, long time, to communicate instantaneously with one another across the planet. One person could speak, and the whole population of this earth can listen to it once they get up out of their bed in the different countries. Right? So, what is the problem? We have to fix it. Government by the people, for the people. We know this is not what is happening. Putin's government is by the people, for the people. This fellow, what's his name in Chavez, man, Maduro. He is by the people, for the people. Our people is for the people, by the people, for the people. I don't think so. Trump is for the people, by the people, for the people. Tell me. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm going mad all by myself. I don't know. It says again, this is from the dictionary, a system that empowers the people to decide for themselves their destiny. Thomas Jefferson, principal author of the Declaration of Independence and third president of the United States. He said, democracy is the equal claim to all to a fair participation in the enactment of the laws, an equal claim of all to the fair participation of the enactment of the laws by which they are governed. Yes? The people participate in coming up with the laws, agreeing to it, and enacting the laws. Anybody knows in these new big corporations now, they pull the employees together and might make a little team and say, look, we have a little problem here. Come on, let's try and figure it out. Management might already know what they want to do. But because they give the team to try and come up with something and they feel that they had a little input and buy-in into it, they are more likely to go along with the final mandate of what is needed to be done. Rather than a boss come and say, we're doing it like this, follow these ways, and that's it. People don't want that again, they resist. Maybe not in Trinidad. We don't seem to resist in Trinidad. We just follow like sheep. So, can we honestly say that any of these descriptions of democracy is what exists today, either in Trinidad or abroad? No. There may be one or two countries that practice democracy. If you look at the word democracy, it comes from the Greek. Demos equals the people, and kratos is to rule. So democracy means rule by the people. Rule by the people. Imagine that. A lot of people don't know these things. I have a clip here, and this school teacher here is asking the students, what is democracy? And the student, the girl, she has a hand up, and it says, she's saying, democracy is the freedom to elect our own dictators. So we have all these existing problems, partisan, to-the-line politics, adversarial politics, arrogance, aggression between government and opposition, time wasting, corruption, nepotism, mismanagement. Decisions are made without our consent. no system to find out the needs and wants of citizens, and only a vote every 5 years. That's the power they say you have. That's the democracy. Put your finger in the ink and vote every 5 years. It's not enough for me. It's not enough for me. If it's enough for you, stay on the fence, go inside your house, lock up yourself, do what they say. It's not enough for me. Right. I don't know how many people know this, but democracy did not begin with a party system. Did not begin in Athens, Greece, in 500 BC. There had no parties. In the United States, when it started, there were no parties. There were representatives of the people to represent the constituencies in the Congress, in Parliament, what have you. There were no parties. Soon after, parties evolved. What it was basically was just a ganging up, the forming of gangs, right? Because if I had a bill I wanted to propose and to get passed, I'll make friends with other colleagues and try to get them swayed into siding with my bill and getting it passed, and vice versa. So they actually made little gangs, or I don't know if you want to call them cabals, maybe you know that word better, if they're inside the parliament. The gang in the parliament, they call the cabals or something, I don't know. Right? In fact, I said it at a meeting in King George V Park, which is now Mandela Park. And the PNM weren't in power at that time, and a number of them were there, and I gave a little lecture. Faris Al-Wari was there, and Fitzgerald Hines was there. And I told them in my little 10-minute lecture that political parties are gangs, and they can be arrested under the anti-gang legislation. Because under the anti-gang legislation, it says any group of persons who terrorizes anybody or parts of our community or the community at large, in almost those words. A group who terrorizes. So lawyers tell me we can't put them in jail. I'm not looking to put anybody in jail. I'm not looking to lock up anybody. As far as I'm concerned, everybody thief. Everybody thief. Long time. You put everybody in jail? Really? We need to move forward. We need to move forward. Draw a line. Like an amnesty. We're going forward. Cannot be thinking back. We can't lock up everybody. That's how we did business. I shouldn't say we, not me. We all participated. I pay already to get my license for my van because it would take a day or not working to line up there to get my van. When we had to go and do the tea every year, it was a whole day work. You pay a guy inside there $500, you don't even go. You come and pick it up and fix it up for you. We all know these things. How you get passports, how you get everything, contracts. Right. So, here we go. So we must understand that we have a choice. And there's nothing in the Constitution that will stop you from exercising that choice. And that choice is to vote in the next election for somebody who will rise up in your community, who you will vote for. Put them into Parliament. If every community did that, we'll get 41. independent candidates. Now, these independent candidates, when they're there, they need to make some changes to the Constitution so that we can go forward in a productive way, in a proactive way. They're not just going there to do the same thing. They're going there to change things. And one of the things we have to change is how we do our business of governance. And that is, they're not there to decide what they think is the way forward, what they think is the right legislation. No. We don't need these kind of people. Right? We want humble servants to represent us in Parliament in communication with us, in communication with the community. And now we have technology, so we don't always have to communicate in person, although I strongly recommend it, that we still have town hall meetings, community meetings, where we meet people, we touch people, we greet people, we see people, we smile with people. And we give energy to each other. And these elected representatives of the people, somebody at one of my meetings, I won't mention her name, I don't know if she wants to be mentioned, I'll be happy to mention you if you ever get in contact with me and tell me. She told me, let's call these the representatives of the people. And I've put that in the manifesto. I like it. It's the representatives of the people. And in communication with the communities will enact the laws that we are okay with, that we have helped to assemble those laws with our ideas and our input and our discussions. These representatives, people get it mixed up. They call them all the time when they have problems in the community like drains and water and things. They're not supposed to do that. That is the job of the local government, and we have to fix local government. And they have to start working. That's a different thing. I know they have a lot of local government reform stuff that other people have done, and I'm going to leave that forte to them and how that can be built into the system, because it has to work hand in hand and together. There's different systems of parts of the whole system. So, I've called it the no-party system. If you want to call it a system, it's the no-party system. So, these people should have no ties with parties. People want fresh faces anyway. People don't want these old faces. Although I tell you something, a lot of the old faces, they're tarnished just because of association. Because they was in that party, and that party really didn't do all good things and things like that. But to me, I think, I may be wrong, I think there's quite a bit of knowledge in some of the past, or in the opposition, and maybe in the present government. So, if these persons want to contribute, I think they should contribute. But I don't think that they need to be a representative of the people. I think the days for them as trying to do that must end. Because they all towed the line. They all put their conscience aside and voted in a toe-the-line system. They did not stand up and make the changes that were necessary. I'm sure many of them were in frustration because they must have their own ideas, but they just did this toe-the-line system. So, what I'm saying is that I don't think we need them to be any representatives of the people. We want fresh faces. I am suggesting university graduates, you don't come out of university, offer yourself up. Come and do 1 year as a representative of the people, a go-between from your community to parliament. That's your job. You're not becoming a king. If you want to become a king, do something else. Right? You're a humble servant of the people. Offer yourself up so we can make this change happen. You, the community members, the citizens, have to take responsibility for your actions going forward in every respect. But today we're talking about elections and making a political change happen. And you have to take responsibility in what you do, in that only power you have, which is once every 5 years. And it's coming up soon. And if you don't want it to work now, I don't know what to tell you. But if you want it to work now, you need to do something different. It cannot be the same old, same old. Because you know what you'll get? The same old and worse. Okay? Hence, I'm not looking for a party. I'm not looking for a work. I have a work. I'm not looking to be a representative. I'm not looking to be a prime minister. I'm an naturopath, a herbalist. I love my work. Okay? Sure, I will participate. I do participate. I go and I'm an activist and I protest. I've been protesting for years. If I feel strongly and I have the time, I will make the time and go and do what little I can. Okay? But we need to be more active and we need to have a system in place where we can participate, where we can discuss the issues, the problems, find whether within our brains of the citizens of the community or elsewhere we can find it. Because other countries have been doing other things too, and we can look and see what's going on, how best we could do this, how best, what is the law here, how we could implement something differently. Right? But we have to do it. We have to get together. We cannot rely on others to do the job for us. Because we continue to be in this disappointing, frustrating, and terrible situation we are in today. Right? We don't even have an idea how bad things are today. We don't even have an idea. Right? When these shops start to try to open, you will see. You see who gets employed, who doesn't get employed. Let's see the government balance the budget that they couldn't even balance before. Let them run the country that they couldn't run before. Yeah? So, I wrote about these things. I never read about these things. I wrote all about these things. And then, at some point, later on, and only a few years ago, I realized that there is something called direct democracy. And direct democracy describes the enabling of citizens to vote directly on constitutional amendments, law, treaties, so that a prime minister will go and make and sign a treaty with none of our knowledge and enter into agreement without our knowledge or consent? No. Direct democracy describes the enabling of citizens to vote directly on constitutional amendments, law, treaties, and policy, and on community infrastructural issues, so local government. I don't know where I got this from, dictionary somewhere, but this existed as direct democracy for some time. They practice direct democracy in Switzerland. I found that out last couple of years. And All of these things I just spoke about, the law, the constitution, treaties, policy, infrastructural issues, are voted upon by the citizens of Switzerland. They have no kings. They have a system of cantons and representatives and things. And they have a prime minister. And just like I suggested a while back, the prime minister rotates and moves off. He's there for 1 year. 1 year. That's it. Right? 1 year. So the time for kings has to go all over the world. All over the world. We don't want kings anymore. Power to the people. People have been saying that for a long time. What do you call it? Donkey's years. I don't know how much is donkey's years. Right? But a long time. The people have been denied it. It's funny. In 500 BC, in the square in Athens, Greece, where democracy, that's the birthplace of democracy, 500 BC. I don't know, I don't know how it was to live in the 1700s, as far as 500 BC. I don't know, they had clothes, they had twigs, I don't know what they had done. But these people used to come in the square and discuss the laws to be made, the amendments of laws to be amended. They discussed it in the square. And then, after which, by a show of hands, they voted. The citizens voted. Women couldn't vote. The slaves could not vote. And the immigrants could not vote. So be it at that time. But the citizens who were not slaves and who were not women, they were able to vote. They voted. Right? That is where democracy started. There became a time when it was easier to elect somebody to go and do your job in Parliament. And he didn't have any way. There was no technology. If you have a community in the United States or wherever of 1 million people or 3 million people or state, there's no way to communicate in the past. 50 years ago, there was no instantaneous way. We have the technology, yet we cannot communicate with each other. Trump and Putin and the man in China and Venezuela and Rowley and this one and that one, and there's a lack of communication. And that's a whole different area again, because we have to deal with some core issues down the line. Because you don't fix and get into utopia just so. You have to fix a few things. You have to fix a lot of things here. Right? The first thing we have to fix in Trinidad and Tobago and elsewhere, but let me talk specifically for here, is the attitudes of people. We have to have attitudinal change. But you see, the attitudes of the arrogance and the aggression come from the parliamentary system. Right? That is what we see in, that is what's displayed. But this have to change. We have to change attitudes or we're going to get nowhere. We'll talk about that the next time. So, independent people's representatives will communicate, once elected, with their communities, within physical meetings, online meetings, discuss the issues, find solutions, and vote on the possible solutions. Right. There's some explanatory stuff. basically. People always ask, how is it going to work in Parliament if you put 41 people in Parliament and they're all independent and it's simple. They're not going to be following one person anywhere. Parliament is really where you decide your laws and you can change constitution by certain means, 3/5 majority and so forth. But how it's going to work inside there? Simple. Right now we have a Speaker of the House that is elected by the government. So they pick their people, and so they side with the people. Right? The Speaker of the House, I don't know if we need a Speaker of the House. So I am suggesting that we have a rotational prime representative of the people. Rotational. I had a meeting with several political parties last year. We had many meetings over the course of, I think, 3 or 4 months. And they went along with my proposal that we had no chairperson specifically for our meetings and our group. And that every time we had a meeting, we had a different chairperson. Because what I am saying is that we really don't need leaders or people as leaders or as kings to hold authority over a group or anyone. We don't need it. You could have it in your business place. You own your business, you command your authority, and so forth. But nobody owns this country but the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And we don't need to put anybody with that power as leader. And under the system, we empower the people. And as the people hold the power, and as the people can exercise their power very easily because we have the technology. And I'll show you it in a minute. We have the technology. We can run like Google and Amazon without being influenced by the owners. Because the owners of it are going to be the people. That's the influence you want. You don't want the influence of a few tyrants. Right? So I am proposing that we use electronic voting. People always say electronic voting, boy. They could alter that. We have bank cards. We have our bank accounts online. We're doing transactions online. It's very safe and secure. From time to time, you have a little something, somebody able to get into the system. They work with it, they fix it. We're still using it. We didn't abandon it. Right? I'm proposing that we remove the archaic system of the ballot box. It is time wasting, both for general election time and for referendum time. It is time wasting. You have to give people time off work. How much time off work we want? We have such an unproductive society here. That needs to stop. But I want to keep this to governance, and the other segment, which we'll have separately, will deal with economics. We must remove it. We'll have e-voting on community matters, national matters, and one day we're going to have e-voting on world matters. World matters. And let me tell you, we have to push now, because there's a new world order that is coming, a new world order, and we have to fight that, right? And I'm proposing that we change, we have, and we develop, and we come together, we unite, and we have the new justice and truth and freedom, order of the people, by the people. That's what we want. Freedom. I born free. I born free. From the time I can crawl left if I want, I can crawl right, I can go forward, I can go backward. I'm free to study, excel, do what I want, learn what I want, under, everything being relative. We're free. Anybody can go and be, well, we know now, anybody can be the President of the United States. Right? But we're free to pursue these things, and we need to have that facilitated. Our freedoms and our truths and our justice need to be facilitated, not suppressed. People, you have to wake up. If you're leaving it to somebody to do it for you, you're looking at the wrong person. I'm a messenger. I'm just trying to tell you, get your act together. When I first did this, when I wrote this, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have no cell phones. We had no cell phones. It was in the 80s. I suggested in my original manifesto that we reprogram the ATM machines, which were already strategically placed for people to access their little money, and they might frequent it once a week or something. And we could reprogram those machines to take our votes, to take our referendum votes on issues. I said that in the 80s in that manifesto. Today, I can tell you that people have online voting things already. Not only that, people do it to see what people think, right? Or what the market looks like. But there's an app already developed for voting, for constituents to vote on a subject, and for their representative on their phone to get it instantaneously. By the end of the day, you have your votes tallied. How many people in my constituency want X, and how many want Y, or how many want A, B, or C, or D, or how many possible solutions that were proposed for a particular issue. Right? It exists. It was developed by somebody in Argentina some years ago. Lady named Mia Mancini. So, also on the matter of voting, there's a country called Estonia. It sits right on the border of Russia there. I just looked it up 2 days ago. I found out about them and they voting, but I just looked up where they were 2 days ago. And they have implemented, I forget how many years now, successfully implemented online voting. I don't know if they're doing referendums. Switzerland is the country that does referendums. Switzerland has direct democracy. But Estonia has a voting system, and apparently it's very, very good. Very, very robust system. And I think we can learn from that and incorporate that. Because even if we just do it for the election to get it going, and the ballot box, besides unproductive, you know how many trees you have to make all that paper for you to go and stamp? Unproductive work. We need people doing productive work. Right? So, I just want to close up now and say that, we need these representatives to come out, to rise up, because there are a lot of good people. We only see the bad people when they do things and we see the crime. But we have a lot of good people, we have a lot of smart people. And there are many, many ideas in all our heads. And we need a system to capture them so that we can be innovative. Right? These ideas don't just come from from nowhere, you know, they come from a very special place, but that's for a different talk. That's when we talk about spirituality and where we need to go in that realm. So, you people, I would say anybody can rise up, anybody. I am just suggesting, if you was in politics already, you was in parliament already, you can work in a group, suggest things, you have knowledge, put things forward. Come and participate, like everybody, right? Participate. Show us your worth. Come with some ideas for us to vote on. Come with it. But let us get some fresh people. Because let me tell you, you parliamentarians and people there already, we ain't giving you no black SUV and thing. And we ain't giving you, when I say we, I talk about the people, the concept, the ideology. This is not the situation. You use your own transport. You take taxi. You get to the people. You work with the app. You communicate with them. You have meetings. You go into parliament. You come back. Right? So, it's a year that you're giving to your country to build it, because there's no money. There's no money. Public servants will have to take a cut too, and many of them will have to find new jobs. Sorry to tell you, public servants. But if we're going online with a lot of things that's going to take away manpower, we have to take that manpower and put it somewhere else in a productive activity, right? Maybe growing food. But there are many other productive activities. Making furniture from the trees. Let's make houses maybe from the trees. Don't know, right? So you guys have to rise up. You could be a retired person who wants to do a year for your community and for the country to get this thing working. Rise up in your community. Say, I will offer myself. And you know what we have to do too? This is very important. And I want to say it now. There's a lot that I'm going to close just now because I'm feeling a little tired. And there's some other parts that need to be articulated inside Parliament and different things. In fact, I might mention one that I want to mention. But you could be retired people. Offer yourself. You have a contribution to make. Come on. Let's do it. What I was going to say is the important aspect of gathering this person, because what's going to happen, I think, is there going to be many who are going to rise up and say, I will stand up and I will represent my community and I will give my national service for my country and I am going to do it. We might get a lot of people rising up to do that. And what we don't want a lot of independent people on the ballot box with the UNC and the MSJ and the PNM and the PEP, because you're just dividing the votes. So we have to get together. We have to work on consolidating all who want to go up and represent the community and get the community to vote before the general election. Right? So that we vote and we pick one person. And that one independent representative will go on the ballot paper. And let me tell you, that is where your vote's going. And you know where the party is going? That's where they have to go. They have to be dismissed. 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 Right? I'm not saying go to jail because they will lock up everybody. They dismissed. Pasteurize. Right? One other aspect, and that is the aspect of, now I know this has been going around the community and going around a number of political parties. I know it's in the COP and it's in the POP. I'll just say, I'm not trying to blow my trumpet, but I gave the idea to the COP, I gave the idea to the PEP. That's fine. They thought it was a good idea. So, and this is what it is. If you all haven't heard about it before, this is what it is. And it makes sense, because remember I'm telling you that the representative of the people is a humble servant, somebody a first degree, a retired person, whatever. It's a nice job, right? You're going to get good gratification for that. But we're not making you into a king, and we're not giving you to run a ministry. We're not giving you to run a ministry. When I say we, I have a party, the people, the system, the ideology, doesn't put you in a position to also run a ministry. You're in parliament, and you with your community. Parliament, community. That's your job. The reason why none of our ministries, none of our government agencies are run properly is because we put these elected people and we say, all right, you take that ministry, you take that ministry. Sometimes these people know nothing about the ministry in which they're going to oversee. Nothing. How could it work? What do they say? Square pegs and round holes, or round holes and square pegs? I don't know. But it seems like that's what it is. So, I propose that you get the best equipped person to run these things. And I'm going to talk a little bit next time at economics on that, how you run it and things like that. But we need the right people. Any big corporation, they want a CEO. How they get it? They don't hire the family, right? They send out the headhunters, the recruitment agencies, the employment agencies with specifics on what they're looking for in qualifications and experience. The recruitment agencies and so forth will bring and say, look, this is the top 5 we have here. Have a look and see. And the board of directors or the owner of the company will make a decision. It's not a willy-nilly thing. You want the best person for the job to get the best job done. Right? So that is what I propose. Freeing up the people's representative to represent the people properly and fix these archaic laws. Fix it. Right? We need to get it fixed, but we have to do it properly. Properly. Right? And we need to run the ministries properly so we can be well served. Right? So we end in the kings, right? And now we get in real public servants. Right? So I just want to end by saying, before ending. So we're going to have a reconfiguration of what we know as Parliament. In Parliament, we have the ruling party and the opposition. We don't even have an independent anywhere in sight because nobody votes for them. Nobody votes for independent people. There were 4 or 5 that went up the last time. They ain't get no votes. Hardly anything, a handful. So we need to reconstruct Parliament from those 2 lanes of adversarial politics where they fight each other all day long, wasting time. And we need to change it where we have a round table parliament where all our representatives of the people come together. Together we aspire. Together we achieve. And to do the people's business in a cordial fashion. Easy. Right? I'm going to end now. I hope you like what I'm telling you. It's easy. Right? Whether you want to open yourself up to it or close yourself up to it is up to you. That is your call. Right? If you're open, you know what you have to do? You got to spread this like wildfire because it's got to get to everybody. We all got to know about it. Right? So thank you very much for listening. and hope you will get on to part 2, which I have some very, very innovative ideas on how we're taking our economics forward. Thank you very much again.